Now I request Professor VijayRaghavan from DBT to give his speech. Good morning, everybody here. Dr. Saraswat, Dr. Narayan Murthy, Dr. Bhatkar, Dr. Balkrishnan, Dr. Datta, Dr. Nayak, and Dr. Kiran Kumar, and all of you here, ladies and gentlemen. I will be very brief because I can see that the sessions will cover all the technical aspects of supercomputing in a very thorough manner. What I would like to therefore talk about is the connect between what we do with supercomputing and our society at large. And in that, there are many components which we need to think about and address. First of all, from a science and technology perspective, if we are self-critical, there are many aspects of serious concern which we need to address. Yet, there are extraordinary opportunities which we can now grasp in a manner very similar to the early days of Indian IT, where a partnership between government, industry, and society resulted in a phenomenal growth led by people such as Dr. Narayan Murthy. So what then are the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats which we face today in using tools such as supercomputing on scale? First of all, why do we need such technologies on scale? If we look at our society, its diversity and complexity is enormous. If you look at farmers, for example, most of our farm holdings are small and marginal in size. They do not apparently lend themselves to technological interventions of scale. Yet, there are phenomenal opportunities of new technology today which allow this integration to take place. For example, two major changes have recently taken place, recently meaning in the last decade and a half. One is in power electronics, which allows your mobile phone charger, for example, to shrink in size from that of a big brick to the size of a finger. The second is solar power. The combination of these two and other energy sources allow electric mobility to reach the smallest of villages in multiple ways and devices to be powered for use in off-grid manner. This has changed potentially the possibility of manufacturing and industry and communications in much of India, which was outside of the internet sector in many ways, that and the mobile phone. Therefore, there's an enormous opportunity, whether it is farm or medicine or energy, to deliver personalized care of a kind which meet personalized requirements of a kind which was feasible only in urban areas or in rich countries. This involves the collection of data to scale, privacy protected, and so on, analyzing this data, curating it, and putting it back, having APIs, and putting it back so that no matter what the need of every citizen, whether it is medicine, farm, or energy, those can be met through delivery pipelines. This is unthinkable on this scale a short while ago technologically. And so technologically, the manufacturing capability is theoretically there. It needs to scale enormously nationally for that to happen. Now, for that to happen, analysis of data, which is the theme of our meeting in some sense, supercomputing is absolutely vital in every ways. Our strengths to be able to reach this scale are several. For example, we have enormous strengths in computer science and IT, and our science and technology academia is fairly strong. Our industry is very strong in these areas, and therefore a exponential growth is possible, even if there are aspects where we are late starters. Our weaknesses there, similarly, are also many. I'd like to say that India is good at solving crises and creating crises, but we're not very good at preventing crises from happening in the first place. And we have actually not prevented many big crises in terms of human resource development and integration between academia and industry and so on. These are major weaknesses. Our science, while it is strong, is poorly connected with societal problems, and those kinds of connections are absolutely vital for us to grow, but that is in some sense feasible. The opportunities for growth in this sector I've already outlined. The opportunities can be grasped if we link the software components with the hardware. That is feasible, but that requires a massive growth in capability in this integration. That's possible only if our science and technology education system focuses on scale, on human resource development of a kind which we have not. And that's again a major opportunity for educators and trainers in this field, because as we develop this computing capability, most of it will be completely unused unless there is a huge surge of young people developing a workforce which will fan out and use this in multiple ways. Lastly, I'd like to say what the threats are. The threats are immense. One is from within and the other from outside. From within, our speed of decision making has to grow. Decision making is of two kinds: enabling ones and not having disabling ones. So this requires, for our decision making to be successful, there has to be a constant interaction between industry, society, and government decision makers at the highest level, so that this feedback loop always has a forcing function which allows us to break deadlocks very rapidly. This is very vital. This can be otherwise a major problem. The other kinds of threats externally are those which come from rapid changes in size and technology in these areas. Those are happening. So while we develop manufacturing capabilities and assembly capabilities of scale over here, we must keep our eyes open globally and opportunistically partner in such a manner so that we can both get very rapidly technologies in place while we develop capabilities internally. If we therefore address these strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats rapidly and immediately now, areas such as personalized medicine, farming, energy, healthcare of various kinds can very rapidly become big areas where supercomputing and the analysis of data and artificial intelligence and machine learning, all of which you heard about, will be immediately applicable. So I think this is a historic meeting of the kind which 20, 30 years ago one would have had in the fundamentals of use of IT in the societal sector, in the commercial sector. This can be truly transformative, and I look forward very much to the discussions today. Thank you.